Hello and welcome to the blue portion of the Avatar Limited set review. In this video, I'll be discussing all of the blue cards and how good I think they're going to be in the upcoming limited format. It's a focus around draft. In this house, we like draft. These are the 5 tiers I use to evaluate cards. Tier 1 is good, Tier 5 is bad. The tiers are loosely based on where I would expect to pick the cards in a pack, not necessarily 100% based on like power level, although those things are sort of connected. And so you can kind of understand that it's a vibes based system over here. We are not 100% all the way in all the time. Let's get it started with Accumulate Wisdom. One in a blue for a instant that's a lesson. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Put each of those cards in your hand instead if there are 3 or more lesson cards in your graveyard. So getting to 3 lesson cards in your graveyard, it's not an unachievable thing to do. And in fact, I think I'm probably going to move this card up. Because after looking at the whole set, I do think there's a lot of lessons, and this kind of seems like it's worth doing. Like this effect of 2 mana. Look at the top 3, pick one. It plays well with the quench, which we're gonna see in a bit. Like you're just gonna be finding that there are less like 3 lessons in your graveyard is not it's not an impossibility. Like it's just not an impossibility. And I think even without getting to 3, you're still playing a decent card. Like you're getting instant speed, accumulate knowledge. I think this is accumulate knowledge. I don't know what I know it's a callback to accumulate knowledge, but I don't know if this is actually what accumulate knowledge says. Anyway, I do think this is a good reason to have a lot of lesson cards in your deck. So I think this is a good card. Benevolent River Spirit, blue for 4/5. As an additional cost to cast this spell, Waterbend 5. Has flying and ward 2 when it enters Scry 2. I like this quite a bit. It's a big flyer. Yes, obviously, sometimes it costs 7 mana. Okay, fine, right? In reality, it probably costs 5 mana and you're tapping 2 creatures and you get to play a 4/5 flyer that scries 2 TPs. That's a pretty good card. Like, you're just kind of getting a lot. If it didn't have Ward 2, if it didn't scry, I wouldn't be as excited because it has those 2 things. There's also realities where you can power this out on turn 4. Um, there just are realities where that happens. There's white cards that make multiple bodies. There's just ways. There are just ways to get this out on turn 4, and if that happens, you're feeling great. So yeah, I like this card. I think it's a solid top end threat in blue. Boomerang Basics. 1 blue mana for a sorcery. It's a lesson. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If you controlled that permanent, draw a card. Um, Kind of cool. It's kind of it's a bad bounce spell, or you can be like, all right, well, I'll draw a card, and it is a lesson, so you're getting your thing back, right? So sure, there's cool stuff you can do with this. Don't really want to like go through the whole set to figure all of it out right now, but I'm almost certain that there is things you can do with this that will make it worth playing. And again, if you have lesson payoffs, this is a lesson that I think you will probably play at least the first copy of. Crashing Wave, blue for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell Waterbend X, tap up to X target creatures, then distribute 3 stun counters among tapped creatures your opponents control. I just like what like I don't. It's also a sorcery, so like what are we doing here? Like what are we actually doing? Like it's a tap down spell. Those don't usually play all that well. It's a sorcery. You have to tap your own creatures to actually tap creatures. I guess you can pay mana too as well. I don't know, man. I'm super skeptical of this. I'm gonna have to like it can obviously beat you, right? Like obviously as a top end threat, it's like a sleep kind of whatever. Those cards can always beat you, and they usually are not the best because they just don't do anything most of the time, and like they're just not. Blue is not a color that cares so much about killing you in 2 turns, right? Like it's like oh no, we're gonna be taking it slow. We're gonna draw some cards, whatever. This isn't even a lesson. I don't know. I'm out on this card. If it proves me wrong, that's life. Ember Island Production. 3 blue for a sorcery. Choose one. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it's not legendary and is a 4/4 hero in addition to its other types. Or create a token that's a copy of target creature an opponent controls, except it's not legendary and it's a 2/2. Yeah, this is bad, right? So you either get a 4/4 of something you control, which you're getting a 5 mana 4/4, cool, which isn't that great. And or you're getting a 2/2 of your opponent's thing, and your opponent's thing might be better than your thing, and then you're sad. So I don't. Yeah, I don't really see it. I'm not seeing it. Clones just aren't that good. Like this type of clone is just not that good. First time flyer. One in a blue for a 1/2 with flying. It gets +1/+1 as long as there's a lesson card in your graveyard. And to be honest with you, the way this is looking, there's gonna be lessons in your graveyard. I'm gonna keep playing. Like I think this is basically just a 2-mana 2/3 flyer. Like in the flyers deck, like I don't know. This card just seems so good to me. I don't know. Like I just feel like you're gonna have a lesson card in your graveyard on turn 3 in blue like so often. And yeah, sometimes you have a 2-mana 1/2 flare. Okay, fine. Like is that the worst card on planet Earth? No. It wears counters well. It does all this other stuff. Like it's an ally. Cool. Great. Fine. Flexible Water Bender. 3 and a blue for a 2/5 with vigilance, and you can water bend 3, and it will have base power and toughness 5/2 until end of turn. Yeah. No, we just had one of these in Tarkir, and it was bad, and I don't see why this one would be any different. Uh, really, I just don't really see it. So, I don't know. I'm just not excited by this. I guess in theory you could be like, oh well, it blocks well. Does it kind of you can attack, and be like, okay, well now I'm flipping it to deal 5. Okay, fine, who cares? Like, oh, you're 4-drop, got in for 5. You spent like you tapped all your creatures and spent mana. Like whatever. I just don't care. I just don't. I simply don't care. Forecasting Fortune Teller. 1 in a blue for a 1/3. When this creature enters, create a clue token. Yeah, I mean it's this is just a good 2-drop, right? Like yeah, it's not here. It's not Thraben Inspector. Fine. It doesn't have to be Thraben Inspector to be a good card. Um, that's just kind of the long and the short of it. It doesn't have to be Thraben Inspector to be a good card. The blue cares about drawing 2 cards a turn. This is a 1/3. It blocks a lot of the 1/1 tokens that are existing in the set, so it's solid blue 2-drop. And blue has 2. I am putting out an alert. I am this common. I am putting out an alert right now. Blue has 2, count them, 2 good common 2-drops in this set. The flyer and this one. And it also has quench, which we'll see in a bit. Blue is going to be good. Blue is going to be a good color in this set. Probably the best color. And the reason for this is pretty simple. Whenever blue has good common 2-drops that are on rate with all the other colors, it is the best color. Pretty much without fail. It almost never isn't the best color because blue's main weakness usually is that it doesn't have good 2-drops. And when blue gets good 2-drops and the game goes a little bit longer, blue is just the nuts. I mean, this card is telling me that blue is the best color. That's what this is telling me. Um, I was impressed by white as well. I am impressed by both of these colors so far. That's how I'm feeling. That's what this card is telling me. That's just how I'm feeling. Geyser Leaper, 4 and a white for 4 and a blue. We were just talking about white for a 4/3 with flyer. You can waterbend 4 to draw a card and then discard a card. This is kind of whatever. We've had this type of thing before. The 5-mana 4/3 flying, kind of big. But then the ability is like, do we care about this? I don't really care about this. I guess you draw a second card in a turn. That's the way to do that with this. So like in the late game, if there's a board stall or it's kind of a low resource game and you get this into play, it's pretty good if you can do that. But then, again, the water bending, it's like it's hard to know how waterbend's going to play out until it's like you're kind of you're in the heat of it, and it's like how much does this actually cost in an average game of Magic? It's like you're paying 2 mana, are you paying 3 mana, or are you paying 4 mana? It's like those amounts of mana are very different, and it changes how good the card is considerably. So it's just always hard with that type of thing to just kind of know until you've actually played the format. But I think this is not a huge priority. It is a flyer. Giant Koi. 4 blue, 5/7, waterbend 3. This creature can't be blocked this turn and has island cycling for 2. This is a large one. I'm gonna tell you what, this is a large creature. And you can end the game, right? This is a game-ending threat, and it's a land cycler, and whatever. You can play it. No issues with playing it. Just it's a big dumb blue creature that doesn't really do anything, and you can put in your deck because it's island cycles. Grand, single blue for a 1/2. When it becomes tapped, draw a card, then discard a card. Non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast as long as there are 3 or more lesson cards in your graveyard. which I think, as I've established, is probably going to happen at some point. And frankly, this is a great water-bending one-drop, and you can just put it in your deck, and it's going to be decent. Now the question is it worthy of moving up to tier 2? And I'm skeptical, and because it's just a one-drop, and I don't know. But as I've said, though, one-drops might be back. They might be back. We might be back. We might be living in the era of the one again, ladies and gentlemen. The games might be starting on turn 1 in this format. Um, get it twisted, we're back. We're all the way back to how things were in 2023. So be advised, we're just back. I don't know if we're all the way back though, but we might be back. I think this is good. It is. I guess it also no. I should move this up. I need to move this up actually. No, it needs to move up because it's just the fact that it can also do it on attacks, which I didn't even see, but it can also just attack. Like I was like, oh, tapped, waterbending, whatever. But no, this also just attacks. It's like a one drop. Like this is actually great. This card's just great. Honest work. 1 blue for an aura. Enchant creature an opponent controls. When this aura enters, tap enchanted creature and remove all counters from it. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a citizen with base power, toughness 1/1, and tap to add colorless mana, named Humble Merchant. So giving your opponent a mana elf is just not good. And that's kind of all I have to say about this. Yeah, it loses fucking its abilities. Who cares? I just, like, really, like, I just don't. I simply don't like this removal spell. I simply don't like it, and that's how I feel about it. Iguana Parrot. 2 and a blue for a 2/2 with flying, vigilance, and prowess. This is fine. We've had sort of this archetype of card before. We had the one from Brothers War that was this but didn't have vigilance. How much do I care about vigilance on my 2/2 flyer? Not a ton. It's fine. I think you'll play this. It has 3 types. A lot of creatures with a lot of types in the set. Be advised. I think this is fine. I just am not excited about it in any way. Invasion Submersible. 2 and a blue for a 0/0. When this vehicle enters, return up to 1 other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and you can exhaust it by waterbending for 3. So the vehicle becomes an artifact creature. Put 3+1 counters on it. So yeah, it's fine. I mean, you're getting a 3 mana, like, you know, this is like a mana war. That's a vehicle that, you can keep putting hold on. Yeah, it's it just becomes a 3/3 later. It becomes a 3/3 later, and we move on and whatever. We move on with our lives, which seems fine. It doesn't seem like it's the best thing ever, but it seems fine. It'll quench you. 1 and a blue for an instant lesson, counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. Which of course is just the text of quench, but it is a lesson, and I actually think that's pretty good. Quench, but being a lesson is, I think, pretty good in this set. The lesson, I'm kind of in on the lessons thing. Blue, green, blue, red are sort of lessons colors, but it seems like it sort of matters in every deck, and I think every blue deck's going to want this. Katara, Bending Prodigy. 2 and a blue for a 2/3 at the beginning of your end step. Katara is tapped, put a +1 counter on her. And you can waterbend for 6 to draw a card. I'm just not that excited about this. Yeah, I mean, it kind of scales a little bit. And you could pay 6 to draw a card, or I mean, you're paying 5 and tapping this to draw a card, which isn't that good because it's just gonna die. I don't know. I'm not that excited about this. Dies to bolt. Waterbend is an inherently powerful ability, right? Like I want to be clear on this because you can do it on your opponent's turn. You can have your creatures on blocks, waterbend, whatever. So I think tier 4 is maybe a bit too harsh, or maybe I'm being a bit too harsh. But a 3 mana 2/3 is so bad, and it's been really like realistically, how often are you waterbending this on turn 4? It's kind of realistic, but not. It's not even like. It's not the most realistic thing on planet Earth. I think Waterbend is a powerful ability, and I respect it, and you can do it multiple times. I am going to move this up to tier 3 as a result of that. The Waterbending Respecter. Knowledge Seeker, 1 and a blue for a 2/1 with Vigilance. When you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. When this creature dies, create a clue token. So we are now, to be clear, 2 common 2-drops that I like. We're now on the first uncommon 2-drop that I like. Blue is looking unbelievable. I'm just telling you right now, when blue has this density of 2 mana plays that I like, and we have Quench too. Blue just has this density of 2 mana plays. It tends to be head and shoulders above everything else. The one thing in this set I'm not sure it has is removal. We'll get to that. We'll go through this and talk about that at the end. I don't know. It's looking like a sweep, ladies and gentlemen. It's looking like the Mamdani sweep, the blue sweep in Avatar here. But anyways, this card is it's just great. Like you're just getting a 2-drop. It incentivizes you to draw more cards. Great. When it dies, you make a clue token. You're getting a 2-for-1. Like it's your opponent has to kill it. When they kill it, you get a draw card. Like it's simple. It's a simple card. It's simple. It's simple. It's easy. It makes sense. Everything about this card makes sense. How do you beat this card? It has vigilance. You can water bend with it. I don't know. This card is just great. You can put this in tier 1. I don't know. Maybe I should just put it in tier 1. Maybe I should just. If I love it so much that I put it in tier 1, maybe I should. I probably should. Honestly, I'll freaking do it. I'll freaking do it, y'all. You made me do it. They made me do it. I didn't want to do it, but they made me do it. The Legend of Kuruk. 2 blue for a saga. First 2 chapters, scry 2, then draw a card. Chapter 3, exile it and flip it into a 4/3. When you cast a spell, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. With this token can't block or be blocked by non-spirit creatures. You can exhaust Waterbend for 20, take an extra turn. Yeah, this card's broken. I don't have anything else to say about it, really. It's just busted, so... Yep, we're just gonna move on. Lost Days, 4 and a blue. For an instant. It's a lesson. The owner of target creature or enchantment puts it into their library, second from the top or on the bottom. You create a clue token. So I was saying, like, does blue have removal? Oh yeah, no. Blue also has like one of the best removal spells at common because it's yes, it costs 5 mana. I understand it costs 5 mana. It's expensive. Cool, fine, whatever. They get it second from the top, and you get a clue token. I mean, this just looks insane to me. Like, it's also a lesson. Everything about this card's nuts. Like, I just don't. Like, this is the nuts, man. This card's just the nuts. Like, it's so good. It's so unbelievably good at everything that it does, other than be 4 mana, which is not a thing that it does. It does not good at being 4 mana. Except unless you have that thing that makes lessons 1 mana cheaper, which I don't remember what it was, but I think there is one. I might even have reviewed it in this video, and I don't remember the name, and that's fine. Master Paku. 1 and a blue for a 1/3 with prowess. When it becomes tapped, target player's mills X cards, where X is the number of lesson cards in your graveyard. I don't really think this is a thing, as much as I believe in lessons. You're playing a 2 mana 1/3 prowess, which is fine. It's a fine card. Are you realistically going to deck your opponent? Actually, I mean, I guess you don't have to attack to tap it. And then you're just water bending it and casting lessons, but there's no lessons like water bending. I'm gonna have to see this to believe it. I'm gonna have to see this work to believe it, basically. And if I see it, I'll believe it. If I see it, I'll believe it. But I'm gonna have to see it. The Mechanist Aerial Artisan, 2 and a blue for a 1/3. When you cast a non-creature spell, create a clue token. You can tap it until end of turn. Target artifact token you control becomes a 3/1 construct artifact creature with flying. Yeah, this is fantastic. Obviously, the one thing about it that's not great is that it is a 3 mana 1/3 that does nothing. The turn that you play it, so you have to kind of be in for that. And it's uncapped, right? So in turn 4, you can go this plus the 1 mana bounce a thing, and then you get a thing, and then you're happy, right? And then just every turn you're attacking with a 3/1 flyer if you want, which is pretty good. Or you can block with one. I don't believe in blocking. It's not a real thing you can like do in Magic the Gathering. I don't know, this just looks great to me. The one thing keeping it out of tier 1 is, hey, it's a thing that does nothing when it ETBs and it is a 1/3. And it makes clue tokens, which don't draw cards immediately, and that's worse. It feels like Morbid Opportunist, but just like worse a little. It's a little bit worse than Morbid Opportunist. Is that even true? Is that even like a true thing that I actually believe? Is that statement that I just made something I actually believe? Let's ponder this for a second. Yes, because Decayed was in that set. That's why I believe that. Decayed was in that set, and you could just attack the turn you played Morbid Opportunist, and the thing would die, and there's nothing they could do about it, and you would draw a card, and you would get it immediately. Whereas there's nothing like that, where you can't just, like, cast the spell immediately. Alright, fine, whatever. Semantically, it's either tier 1 or tier 2, I don't really care, it's gonna be great. But I do really care, because I want to be right, and being right is cool. Ties to Lightning Strike. On turn 3, it's a 1/3, it doesn't block. It does block, although it doesn't actually block because it's tapped, and you lose your clue, then you don't draw a card, and then you have to make another one, and then this is tapped. Uncapped, though, you just make a bunch of clues. I'm gonna put it. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it. If I'm wrong, that's fine. North Pole Patrol, 2 and a blue for 2/3. You can tap it to untap another target permanent you control, and you can waterbend 3 to tap target creature an opponent controls. This looks totally solid to me. The thing about it is, like, it's just a mana elf on 3, and that's fine. And later in the game, you can just tap down your opponent's stuff, which is good. It's a cheap tapper. I like this card. Do I want to? Like, I like all the blue cards. Like, can I just put every blue card in tier 2? I guess that's just the reality that we're living in. I'm just living in the reality where just blue is just broken and all the blue cards are better than everything else. That just might be the reality that we're living in here. I don't know. It's a smallish creature that's belowish rate. Do you want your tapper to be your 3-drop? Generally, no. Kind of like this thing though. I'm gonna put it in tier. I'm just gonna move it up. I'm just gonna put every blue card in tier 2. Octopus Form, single blue mana for an instant. It's a lesson. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gain hexproof until end of turn. Untap it. I mean, the lesson stuff looks completely real, and this card is gonna. It's so good with all your stuff you want to protect. I think you might want to run 3 copies of this. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I think blue's that good. It's like all of blue has like all these value creatures. It's got flyers, it's got the 2-drop we saw, we have the 3-drop, we have the rares. Like, we just have everything. Like, everything this can protect for 1 mana. It's also a lesson. I just, like, I don't know, man. It just seems great in this set. Like, this set context means this card looks great to me. Shore Up is usually like a tier 4 card. I think the lesson is enough to make it good. Otter Penguin. 1 and a blue for a 2/1. When you draw your second card each turn, this creature gets +1/+2 until end of turn and can't be blocked. This turn. So, this is a fine 2-drop. It's not exciting. It's like the first blue card I've seen in the entire set that, like, is a 2-drop that isn't, like, broken. But even then, like, I don't think it's, like, that bad. Like, there's so many ways to draw 2 cards. We've seen so many of them that, like, there's a reality where this card's just a good card, too. I wouldn't go in expecting that, right? I'm not going in expecting this to be like one of the best cards in the set, but I do think this is fine. It seems solid to me. The unblockable piece of it, Sahagin, comes to mind, of course. This card is not Sahagin in the sense that, like, it doesn't scale with the game as well, but it is. I do think there's something there with this card. Rowdy Snowballers, 2 and a blue. For 2, when this creature enters, tap target creature and opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. We are living in the post-Lynx era. I forget if it was called, like, Frostbite Lynx or whatever. The Lynx from, like, every core set ever of all time. That this was. And this is, like, fine. It's not even, like, that bad. It taps their thing for a turn. We had that. We've had it before. It's okay. It's not great. You kind of, like, are never happy about it, but you can sort of play it and whatever. Secret of Bloodbending. Blue, blue, blue. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may waterbend for 10. You control target opponent during their next combat phase. If the spell's additional cost was paid, you control that player during their next turn instead, and you exile the spell. It's also a lesson, which is weird. Shout out lessons. So the thing with this is, you really... It's really hard to get to 4 blue mana, for the record. Controlling your opponent during their next combat, is it really that good? It's okay. It's okay sometimes. This is not a card that helps you extend your advantage, really. It's a card that's like, you have to be in, like, a weird game state, right? I don't know. I'm not buying this card. If it's good, great. If it is terrible, like, that's what I'm expecting. I just think, like, the mana cost is so hard. You have to waterbend 10. I mean, I'm not even thinking about the waterbend 10, really, because that's just almost never happening. You have to pay so much creatures and mana. And then you also, like, If you waterbend 10, then you controlling them during their next combat is worse because then they have if they can't like run their creatures into your creatures anymore because they're not untapped. So that's also something. Obviously, you can like blow it. Mind controlling your opponent is good for the record. Um, just to be clear, but I don't think this is really exciting. I'm not excited about triple blue. Like, would I play it if I had it? If I got it like 10th pick, would I play it? Probably. I guess I would. If I was in mono blue, I would try it. I'm not even sure it would be good. Serpent to the Pass. 5 blue blue for a 6/5. If there are 3 or more lesson cards in your graveyard, you may cast the spell as though it had flash. It costs 1 less to cast for each non-creature, non-land card in your graveyard. This card's the nuts. We've established that all the blue lessons are good. Every single one of them is great. And this card's just going to have flash like some percentage of the time, and it's gonna cost like 4 or 5 mana. Like you're just gonna have a 6/5, and then you would that's really good. Somebody tell me I'm crazy here. Blue is just so good. Blue is just so good. Every blue card I look at, I'm like, that's the nuts. That's the nuts. Blue has good 2 drops. Blue has just every good like all of the lessons are good. Like what are like, I just don't even know. I don't even know, man. Like what reality am I living in here? Sokka's Haiku. 3 blue blue for an instant. Lesson. Counter target spell, draw 3 cards. Draw a card, then mill 3 cards. Untap target land. I mean, again, like what what am I it's another lesson that's just insane. We just had this in Spider-Man. Now the Spider-Man one is better because you get the option of just drawing 3 cards, but you were generally using the counter spell mode, and this one sort of is weird because you don't get a choice because you got to do the thing. But your blue opponent, I don't know. This looks great. I have it in tier 3 because again, it's a 5 mana spell that is whatever, and we can sometimes we can do better, and we're milling 3 cards, and it's a lesson and whatever. Like I don't know. This looks great. All the blue cards look great. Whatever. It's good. It's a good card. The Spirit Erases, 2 and a blue for Enshrine. When it enters, draw a card for each shrine you control. Whenever another shrine enters, draw a card. The shrine stuff, I don't know if it plays super well together, but this one seems like it's okay-ish. Obviously, it's bad, right? Like, if you have this and one other shrine in play, you get Divination plus your other shrine triggering. How good is that? It's good. You need to have like 6 shrines in your deck for the shrine deck to even be playable, and then they're all legendary, and it kind of doesn't really work, and it's like weird. Uh, so I don't know. I'm not. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm optimistic, Bob. Spirit Water Revival. 1 blue blue for a sorcery. Additional cost to cast a spell you may waterbend for 6. Draw 2 cards. If the spell's additional cost was paid, instead shuffle your graveyard into your library, draw 7, and you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Exile Spirit Water Revival. So the buyout's really bad, right? You're paying 3 mana and one of it's double pipped for divination. Sometimes you just gotta pay 3 mana for divination, and that's just the reality of the world. Sometimes though, you get to spend like 6 mana and tap 3 of your creatures and draw 7. That's pretty strong. Usually you're gonna win the game when you do that. Um, So I do think the upside is kind of there with this card. I think it's kind of like better than maybe it sort of looks. Like it kind of looks bad, but maybe it also looks insane. I don't know. It sort of depends on your perspective. For me, this is the type of card that I'm like, yeah, I don't know. But your opponent's not getting to draw 7, and so that's usually one of the big downsides of the draw 7. Is your opponent gets to draw 7, but this is it's just you, and that's okay with me. Tio Spirited Glider, 3 and a blue for a 1/4 with flying. Whenever one or more creatures you control with flying attack, draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard an online card this way, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. This looks fine. It really does need some help, right? You're paying a 3 mana 1/4 with no ETB unless you have a flyer, and we talked about the common that's really good. We talked about some other stuff. Is there enough critical mass of flyers that you need to take this that highly? It's a 4 drop. You have to discard non-lands to make it work, but that's fine. You can discard your lessons, and then there's lessons in the graveyard, and that's good, and you care about that. And It plays really well with the common, but everything plays really well with the common because the common's broken, so that's cool. Uh, I don't know. Do I want to put this in tier 2? Do I want to leave it in tier 3? I'm happy to leave it in tier 3, and maybe I'm wrong, and this card is just broken, and that's fine. It's just like, you probably are drawing a card on turn 4 if your deck. So, like, how many flyers can you realistically get in your deck? Like, 8? If one of them lives, you have this on turn 4. And sometimes it, like, the thing you have to, like, sometimes your creatures live. Like, sometimes you actually just play a creature and it survives. I know that, like, I never describe scenarios where that happens because like I don't like to think about the world where my opponent doesn't just always have it. But like sometimes they don't have it, and like you do sometimes like, you just play this on turn 4, and it's like okay, well on turn 5 I get to attack, and then I get to it's a 2/5. Um, in most spots, and it triggers all my draw 2 stuff, and it triggers all this other stuff, and it has 4 toughness. It can block, and you can also attack and then put the counter on this so it can block as a 2/5. And yeah, fine. I'm fine. We'll just put every blue card in tier 2. So yeah, I've capitulated to my own desires. Tiger Seal, single blue for a 3/3 with vigilance. At the beginning of your upkeep, tap this creature. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, untap this creature. So the problem with this is that drawing your second card on turn 2 is not going to be easy. So you're not really getting that much of a benefit from it being like a 1-drop. But like on turn 3, you could draw 2, and then it like could happen. I don't know. I'm just not super excited by this. Like I'm not. I think there's like a deck maybe that could make it work, but like again, all the other blue cards are broken. So why even like why have to like jump through hoops to make your card? Like why jump through hoops to make a 1 mana 3/3 work when you can just have a common that's like a 2/3 with flying for 2? Why try to make this work when you can just have something that's 2/3 flying for 2? Like what are we doing? Or a 2/1 that becomes like what reality are we living in here? Tylee Chi Blocker, 2 and a blue for 2 and with flash and prowess. When it enters, tap up to 1 target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control Tylee. This is great. So you're getting basically a Banisher Priest type effect, but you're getting something that has flash and prowess, and the opponent's not triggering their ETB when it leaves. Now, obviously, they get to keep things with abilities around, and that's fine. But this has prowess, and it's a threat, and I think you're pretty happy to pick it. I honestly think I might take the 2 drops over it, but that's a reality that we're living in. But like it's a solid card. It's a solid card. I think it's gonna be good. The Ungai of Kyoshi Island, 3 blue for 5/5 with flash, and it has ward Waterbend 4. Whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw 2 cards. So if blue is by far the best color in the set, this card is kind of good because like your opponent is going to be drawing their second card each turn a lot because they're going to be playing blue cards, and then you're going to have this thing, and it's going to be like, I cast it, and now I draw 2 cards, and then I also have a 5/5, and they have to waterbend to kill it, which is not, it's not cheap, right? Like waterbending is not cheap when you want to kill this thing. It's got flash, and you can hold up spells when you want to cast it, and I don't know, this looks good to me. Wang Shitong, Librarian. X blue for a 1/1 with flash, flying, and vigilance. When it enters, put X +1/+1 counters on it. Draw half X cards rounded down. Whenever an opponent searches their library, put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card. Yep, it's great. I don't know. I wonder if this sees play in like modern. Is there like a world where this sees play in modern? Kind of curious. Guy who played one modern tournament ever. Does this card good enough for modern? Guy wondering that. I mean, I don't know. It's got flash. Like they people do they. Hey, one thing about modern players, they do be fetching some lands out of their deck. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what, brother. They be fetching some lands. So there's something there. Um, that's it's a large lad to come out of the board. I don't know. I just like this card. It's a scalable threat. These are always good. I don't really have any complaints. Waterbender Ascension, 1 and a blue enchantment. When a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a quest counter on this enchantment. Then if it has 4 or more counters on it, draw a card. Okay, you can pay Waterbend for 4. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. So this enchantment has no ETB, which isn't great. But you can make your stuff get through. I mean, all your stuff's going to get through anyways, because it all has flying. All your good cards have flying. And it doesn't, it does, one of the things that is interesting about this is it does scale per creature. So if you have 2 creatures that hit on the same turn, it will count both of them instead of being like, oh, you only get 1 instance per turn. So that's actually nice. It's fine. This seems like a fine thing. It's just that you're waiting a long time to get this on in most spots. But if you get it to work, you're just gonna win the game. So that's cool. Waterbending lesson. 3 and a blue. For sorcery, draw 3 cards, then discard a card, and issue Waterbend 2. Why on earth is this in tier 5? What am I thinking? Am I on cocaine or something? Like, what happened here? Give me a second. So, like, yes, obviously, like, having to waterbend 2, like, it's a lesson. It's a lesson that allows you to discard another lesson, and it also draws you 3 cards in a turn, and also, like, you can just draw the 3rd card if you can waterbend 2, which is a thing that's, like, realistic and possible. And, like, a lot of times you can just discard something that's fine. Obviously, like, sorcery speed, like, this effect is not that great, and it's still in tier 3, but, like, lessons are good. Like, it is good to have lessons in your deck, and this is a lesson that you will play and you are happy about. I'm not moving it to tier 2 because whatever, but this is good. This is a good card. I've decided. Waterbending Scroll, 1 and a blue for an artifact. You can pay 6 and tap it to draw a card. It costs 1 less to cast, activate for each island you control. So if you get to like 3 or 4 islands, it sort of starts to become feasible. And if you're at 5 or 6, the card's just unbelievable. I think this is a cool, like, there's some, like, mono color support in this set. There's a cycle, I think, of these effects. They all seem like they're achievable. This one seems achievable, and you just need to be playing mono blue to make it work. And hey, you know what? Blue's good. So if you're playing mono blue, just playing only good cards. That's what's happening when you're playing mono blue. So I mean, I think this is possible, but I do think you can just do better with normal deck with 2 colors and whatever. Play all the good cards. Watery Grasp. Single blue for an enchantment or enchanted creature does not untap during its control's untap step, and you can waterbend for 5 to shuffle into their owner's library. Yeah, kind of like it. You're getting a 6 mana removal spell, hard removal in blue. It's a shuffle, so that's really good. And also, like, you can just, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect card, but it does kind of seem like solid removal and the color that needs, like, why play another color when you can just have reasonable removal in blue and every single one of your cards draws you cards. So even if you can't shuffle it in, it's like not the worst if it stays on the battlefield and they just can't really attack with it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. No complaints from me. And the last blue card, kind of a weird one. Hugh the Moon Spirit. 3 and a blue, 3/3, Flying Vigilance, Waterbend 5. You may cast a non-creature spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. Now, is that realistically going to be cheaper than actually just paying the mana cost of the spell? Probably not. And so you're mostly paying for like a 4 mana 3/3 Flying Vigilance, which is okay. And then sometimes the effect has effects and stuff. And you can do it and you can do it a guy who doesn't know whether or not this works with sorceries at instant speed or not. I can't figure that out. I assume you can't cast sorceries with it at instant speed because it doesn't say that, but maybe you can. Shout out to the judges out there. They'll figure that out for me. Arena rules will just do it, and I'll figure out if I can do it at some point. Someone will just tell me. Someone will just tell me, and then I'll just know, and I won't have to think about it. Because why would I figure it out? Why learn when you could just have someone else learn for you? Yeah, so this is like a 4-drop. It's fine. It has flying. That's nice. That's it. That's it for blue. Looks great. I mean, I haven't been this excited about a color in a limited format in a long time in the pre-release. And when I say excited, I mean, yeah, this is just looking like maybe we're headed for dominance here. Like this, yeah, the lessons, all of Blue's lessons look really good. They look so much better than all the other colors' lessons, and also, like, the lesson synergy seems like it works. The draw synergy seems like it works. The flying synergy seems like it works. So, everything looks like it works. Uh, yeah, all of the blue decks look like they're good. So that's something. And with that in mind, I will see you for the next one.